right, I am just about at the next lookout. If I look on the map, it looks like I've done about half of the 4.9 kilometer trail. Racking up the miles here. Oh, this is gonna be good. I think, oh, I don't know. Looked a little more open than I thought it was gonna be. This must be it here. Just want to double check the map and see if I'm maybe a little bit too early again. Oh, there's my little island. There's my campsite, my bug shelter. Way down there. Crazy. You would think that up here, because it's windy, the bugs wouldn't be so bad, but they're all over me. What's for lunch today? I have got some German salami that I sliced. That was like one of those tubes, you know? So I just sliced some of it and put it on a wrap with some ha-ha-moo. Just cut it in half so it was easier to get in the Ziploc. And a big piece of kielbasa I brought. Yesterday I was sitting at my campsite looking up here. And today I'm sitting up here looking at my campsite down there. It's kind of cool. Just finished having my wrap. Got myself a special little treat here. And drank almost a whole Nalgene of water sitting here. I'm so thirsty. I'm gonna sit here for a bit and enjoy my rest of my lunch. And then I'm gonna turn back and head back. I don't need to see any more lookouts. I think this is enough. Maybe there's some more that are more spectacular, but I'm totally fine with this. I wanted to come up here and see if I could see the campsite from up here, and I can, and I've kind of done what I wanted to do, so I'm gonna head back slowly, but it's gonna take a while. Well, I have to say, despite the flies, this is a really nice spot to have lunch, and I love that I'm sitting here looking at my campsite from like way up here. I just think it's so cool. It's just really, really neat. Where is it? There it is. It's a tiny dot way down there. It's so cool up here. I want to hike back down. I'm like tired. All right, campsite. It's 2:15. Let's see how long it takes me to get back to you from here. Hawks are circling. They know I'm getting tired. Oh wow, look at them all. Well, as I get closer to the portage, I'm also getting closer to our friend the woodpecker, who's been working on his condo since yesterday. There he is. I can't see him, but he's got to be pretty close. It's fairly loud. Try to be quiet so he'll keep knocking. There he is. see him anywhere? I don't see him. He was right there. I just saw him fly out. Oh well. Startled the grouse as I was walking through here. I don't know if you can see him. Maybe he'll move. It's not very far away from me. It's funny. It's like walking with me instead of going away from me. Come on, out into the open there. No? Come on. Oh, it's right there. Blends into the trees so well. It's so camouflaged. If it wouldn't have moved, I probably wouldn't have seen it. It's too high now. Oh, beautiful. Hi, buddy. Thank you. These trees are magnificent. I had to share them before I left this beautiful trail. Actually, I'm on the portage now. I'm almost back at the boat, but these trees are just phenomenal. Oh, the first trillium I've seen. We have some in Muskoka, but I haven't seen any up here since I've been here. It's so cute too. It's like super tiny. I'm almost back at the canoe. Wow. It's got to be over 1 meter wide. Hang on, I got to show you. It's 3:35. I just made it back to the canoe. I just checked my phone and I got here at 11. So I've been here for 4.5 hours. Nice little hike. I enjoyed it. I really, really liked the crevasse. I loved seeing the snow down there and checking that area out. And I really liked being at the lookout where I was having my lunch and being able to see the campsite right across from it. I thought that was so cool. Not super disappointed that I didn't do the loop completely. I technically did almost probably the same distance, but I wasn't going to lose my selfie stick, and then I just didn't want to go back after that. I was like, screw it. So I think it was a good call because it's almost 4 o'clock already, and if I would have went back again and double back and did all that, I'd probably still be in here for quite some time. So I'm just going to jump in the boat and get on the water, and I will see you in a bit. All right, it is 3:40 and I am back on the water. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Well, it's about 4:15. I'm just behind the island that I'm camping on, checking out the scene here at the end of the lake. Bugs came back, so I've got my baseball hat, my Canoe Hound baseball hat on, and my head net. Of course, as soon as I put it on, they were gone again. Hoping to see a moose or a deer over here. I don't think at 4:15 in the afternoon, but you never know. Did see a grouse today, so there's that. Campsite. See the lovely yellow of the Midori coming through, and that color's deceived me already a few times. This morning I got up thinking that the sun was out, and it wasn't. I don't have my water shoes on. When I got in the boat, I didn't need them. I didn't get my feet wet, so I'm hoping I don't need to put them on, but we'll see. I'm gonna turn the camera off for now. I don't want it to go, and I'm covered in bugs again. Well, it's 4:30. I'm back in the bug shelter. My knee's really sore. My knee doesn't like the up and the down stuff and the elevation, so it's pretty sore. And I'm pretty tuckered out. I'm gonna sit here and stare up at this cliff and see if I can see possibly where I might have been at the lookout for lunch. And just gonna kind of kick back for a bit and relax. Well, somehow it's 6:30. I'm just sitting here in the sunshine listening to an audiobook with my head back and my eyes closed, and I thought, geez, I'm getting a little bit hungry. I did have lunch late, but I didn't eat my whole wrap. I was not enjoying it that much tonight. I really liked the kielbasa, so I ate some more of that, and I had a Kit Kat and a couple cookies, but I should probably start thinking about dinner. And as you can see here, there are some very dark clouds that have been going across the lake, and now they're starting to kind of come this way. You can see them on the horizon here, starting to come over. So I think my sunshine's gonna go away. I've got to think about what I'm gonna do here. I would like to have a nice big fire tonight. It's supposed to get really cold. Well, for this time of year, I mean, I think tonight at some point while I'm sleeping, it's going to go down to feels like 2. So that's pretty chilly for spring. I mean, I'm prepared for it, but I hate it. So my plan is to stay by the fire as long as possible. The fire with the bug shelter, the way it was on Thursday night, was okay, but it wasn't as good as I would have liked it. A lot of the smoke got trapped inside, and I didn't like that. So I might just take the mesh off. I'm not having too many problems with bugs. I know they are out, and they've been bothering me here and there today, but not really consistently. I think if the wind keeps up, then the tarp should just be enough to keep me dry in case it rains, and I haven't really required to sit in there too much. Like, there's just been a few moments where I'm like, okay, get me in there, but otherwise, even sunset yesterday, when it should have been bad, it wasn't too bad, so I might do that. I guess the first thing I should do is make dinner. I have a choice of 2 OTG meals tonight. One is beef pot pie with peppers, and the other one is coconut curry shrimp. Now, I wasn't too sure about the coconut curry shrimp, so I just made a teeny tiny bit, like maybe 10 little bits of rice, like just 1 spoonful. I rehydrated at home and tried it, and it was really tasty. I enjoyed it, but I'm not sure if I want that or if I want the beef pot pie. I'm leaning towards the beef pot pie right now. All right, the water's on. I did reduce the meal probably about half. It was beef pot pie with peppers, and it says 1.5 cups of boiling water, so I did 3/4 of a cup, and that should do. Alright, there's a picture of it, so you can see what it looks like before it's rehydrated, and like I said, I've taken about half of it out. I also took a lot of the peppers out because I'm not a huge fan, and the water's ready, so in it goes. Well, all hell broke loose. I made the food, I put the water in, the timer just went off to say it's ready, and I took the mesh off, and as soon as I did, the tarp, the fly, just went literally flying. So I've been trying to pull it down. I just came back from doing the tent. I went to go put something in, I went to put the mesh in the tent, and the whole top of the inside of the tent, not inside my tent, but in between the fly and the tent, there must have been 30 or 40 flies in there. So just before the wind picked up, I'm like, oh, I gotta clean this out. So I undo all the top of the fly, and then the wind goes crazy. The tarp goes flying, my tent's flying, everything's flying around. Anyways, I got the fly back on the tent. I flipped the canoe over and tied it, and now I'm just finishing the tarp so I can eat my food, which is now ready. Well, it's 7:30. The re-stringing, I guess, of the tarp took a little bit longer than I wanted it to. When the timer went off for my meal, I just kind of let it sit. And then when I went to eat it, after I finished the tarp, which was about 15 minutes ago, it was I didn't put enough water in it. I just kind of eyeball these, and I split them in half before I come because they're too big, like for the one whole meal for me. And then I put too much water in. But it tastes really, really good. I mean, it looks like soup, I know, but then it will be beef pot pie with pepper soup, and I'm totally good with that. Sorry I messed this one up, Brandy. There is also a note to everyone that there is also lots and lots of peppers in here, but I took like most of them out. I took quite a bit of them out. I would say a quarter of a cup or something, because I'm not crazy about them. See, there's a couple, but all the green ones I took out. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I'm sitting here under the tarp, contemplating starting a fire. It's really windy out. Yesterday it was supposed to be a tornado, and I didn't have wind even close to this. But the wind is coming from a different direction now, and it's blowing right into the area where the tarp is. I'm not really enjoying sitting out here, and I kind of want to go in the tent and sit in my sleeping bag and maybe just listen to my audiobook or work on my route for my next trip on the map that I brought with me. So I think I might do that. I just had a Snickers bar for a dessert, even though I wasn't really hungry, but I have to have chocolate, and I was going to make a dessert wrap on the fire. But again, I just don't know because it's so windy. I've blocked the tarp, I pulled the tarp down here on the sides. They're all, like this whole one side where the wind is coming from is attached to the log. And I even like pinched it together so it would make it a bit more round on this side, so it's pretty low. If I dropped this a lot lower, it would probably be more comfortable because it would block some of the wind, but then it's going to blow the tarp into me. And the thing I'm worried about is the fire, right? Like, okay, technically, I guess it would blow into the lake because that's where the wind is coming from, but it might blow into here, and I don't know, I just feel like it might be too windy for a fire. So I have all this wood. I'm like pissed because I have like tons, like I have 2 rows like that of wood, and then I have some behind me, I have some over here, I have a bunch behind me under my chair here. Like I'm totally set, and it's supposed to be chilly, and I want to sit by the fire and stay warm, but if the wind keeps up, I don't know. Pretty sure they had the forecast wrong. I think today's the tornado day. It's like super windy out here. Super windy. Oh, and it's a cold wind. I do not like it. I might go sit out by my tent. It's kind of a bit more sheltered back there. Wow, just turning my back, it's like night and day. It's 20 after 8, and I think I made the decision to go in the tent for a bit. The wind is not dying down yet. I did drop the tarp a little bit lower. This log is perfect for this, and I'm in a bit of a dip, so it's kind of good, but the wind is coming right through, like it's coming from the front of the tarp, and I have to have that raised up a bit because of the fire. And what is going to happen is the ashes and the fire and all the stuff, the sparks are all going to blow this way towards me, and that's not going to be good. So I just think it's too dangerous right now to have a fire. It's too windy where I'm sitting. If the fire pit was over on the other side above the tent, that would be great, but it's not, and it's all pine needles over there, so I wouldn't even consider building one. And yeah, I'm just going to hope that the wind dies down. So I'm going to go in the tent for a bit and check out my maps and work on my next route. and listen to my audiobook and just kind of sit in there and chill out for a bit. Well, I got in the tent and then I thought I better come and check and see if there's anything happening with the sky, because it looked like a nice sunset might have been on the way. And sure enough, there it is. It actually looks better, a little bit better in person. The pictures are more true to what it looks like, but it's quite stunning. Some nice pink clouds over here. The sky just keeps getting better and better. There's Forest today up there. Your turn, buddy. It's fantastic. It's the best music I've ever heard. I'm probably not getting it because of the wind. These birds are still going at it. They're awesome. Oh, and then they just stop. Oh, there we go. Good night, beautiful sunset. Well, good morning. Don't I look beautiful? It's 5:30 a.m. I just went to the privy. It is raining. It was actually just barely raining when I woke up, and I was like, go, because I know it's supposed to get heavier. It was supposed to stop raining at noon, and then I was going to go this afternoon sometime. But now the forecast says it's going to rain until 5 p.m. and then it's going to start again at 7. So the rain is light after 10ish, and the winds aren't too bad. So I think I'm going to plan to leave around 10. And until then, I'm going to go back to sleep. Good night. Hi again. Lola Lazy Bones here, lying around. I think I'm making up for all that sleep that I missed out on the last few days, so that's good. It's still raining quite a bit. It's 9 o'clock. I set my alarm, and I had just woken up a little bit before that. I was going to plan to leave at 10, but I just checked the forecast and they changed it again. So now They split up the 4 millimeters of rain so that it's 2 millimeters now between 9 and 10, and 2 millimeters of rain between 11 and 12. And then at 12, between 12 and 2 now, the rain's supposed to stop. It is 5 degrees, feels like 3, but I'm not finding it that cold, so that's good. Maybe I got a little bit of sun yesterday and it's keeping me warm, I'm not sure, but I'm quite comfortable. And just kind of waiting around. I do have my tarp up, so I could go have breakfast. I might do that. I wasn't actually going to eat before I left. I was just going to kind of pack and go, but I might go do that. I might go see how the tarp's doing and see if it's still standing, and if I can sit under there and make some breakfast, then maybe I'll do that. Good morning. It is 9:35 and I am up and out. I couldn't lay down anymore. My back was getting really sore and I needed to get up. It is very, very chilly out. It is 3 degrees, feels like 3 degrees. It's 6, feels like 3. And I just got some water on, which has just started to boil to make some oatmeal. Today I have cinnamon apples in my oatmeal. Yesterday I had peaches and strawberries, so it seems like I'm eating the same thing, but it's got a little bit of variety to it at least. Anyways, my water is boiling. I'll be back. It's cold. It's raining. I have a tarp set up. I had lots of wood processed, so I made a fire. Got a couple hours until the rain's supposed to stop and I'm gonna leave. Not that I can't leave sooner, but I have no reason to. I'm in no rush, so I'm gonna wait until the rain stops and then pack up when it's not raining and paddle out, hopefully when it's not raining, and make my experience as enjoyable as possible. And rainy. This is perfect. This is what I normally would have done on Friday night in the rain when all that rain was forecast and it was supposed to be gross out. I would have just sat here under the tarp, a nice fire going, and watched the storm. But because it was a tornado warning and there were these crazy winds involved, it wasn't something I thought I should do. But you know, if it's just raining, it's not too crazy out like it is now. I mean, it's really cold. It's 5, feels like 3, and it's raining. So it's nice to sit here by a warm fire and be dry and still have beautiful scenery and just be comfy cozy until it stops. Oh, it's 25 after 11 and the rain has stopped. I'm going to start getting my budding gear here. I'm going to head over to the tent and start packing everything up, and I got to put the fire out. I just went into the forest and I found a bunch of big pieces of bark, and I laid them on top of the wood. I have so much firewood here. I have 2 rows deep of wood here. So I've covered it all up with bark, and then I put a bunch of rocks on top. So hopefully that'll help to keep the wood dry. And then the wood that was here when I got here, I've also replenished that. So there's about 8 or 10 pieces over there underneath the bark. And there's some wood covering that. And then there's a whole bunch of small stuff underneath these branches. And I've also got some small stuff under the log here. So hopefully whoever comes to the campsite next will be happy with that, and they'll use what they need and replace it accordingly. And I'm procrastinating. I'm gonna go get ready. All right, before I go inside and start packing up the inside of the tent, I just wanted to knock some of the water off of the tent so it can start drying. The tent's most likely not going to be dry when I pack it up unless I wait quite a while, which I'm not going to do. I have my little privy shovel. This is what I use to dig my privies, and it works really good as a little squeegee. So I just kind of run it down and wipe the water off. I usually use my hands, but I end up getting myself and everything else soaking wet. So I found lately that this works really good. So now that most of the big water droplets are off the tent, that can dry at least a little bit when I pack up the inside. And then I can just fold this on top of itself, and then I'll have to hang it to dry when I get home. Well, it's 12:45. I took advantage of the weather. I wanted to take some pictures for the cover photo of the video with my tent and the canoe beside it. So I had like this crazy photo shoot that went like a half an hour and kind of delayed me. But I also checked the weather network, and the rain is now supposed to hold off until 2 or 3. So I have enough time to get out. It's not going to take me very long to get back to the car. I mean, I have a 500-meter portage and, you know, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, 5, maybe 5 or 6 kilometers of paddling at the most. So I just took down the tarp, and everything is done here at the fire pit. I doused the fire out with like 4 or 5 Nalgene bottles of water. So that's good. All the wood is covered up to the best of my ability. And I have everything over here where the tent was, because yesterday when I came back from my hike, I left the canoe. I brought the canoe up over here. It's much, much easier to access. And all my stuff is here. I just have to put the bug shelter in my pack and close up my bags and put them in the canoe, and I will be off and running. I'm feeling really sad. I don't know why. I guess because the trip's over and I feel like I didn't do anything really amazing, but I had a good time. All right, it is just going on 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, and I'm all packed up and ready to go. The sun is starting to peek out a little bit, but there's also a lot of dark clouds in the sky still. So we'll see what happens. I've got my rain pants on and my tights underneath, my raincoat on. It's probably going to be too hot, but it's only 12 degrees now still. Feels a little bit warmer with the sun, obviously, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to make my way over to the portage, and the water is pretty calm. There's no crazy winds. It's actually perfect. All right, it is 1 o'clock and I am on the water. Thank you, beautiful campsite. Miigwech, you were great. Bye guys, thank you. Quite beautiful out here, even with gloomy skies, and the wind isn't very bad at all. It's not even close to what it was like last night. Well, my footwear this weekend is my old Hans water socks, because the pair that I've used the last few years are just destroyed, and I was going to try to wear them again. I did order some new socks from Sealskin. Had a really hard time with them, but then they ended up sending me a free pair after I kind of told them what happened, so we'll see how those turn out. I'm also wearing my old Keens, my Newports. The Terradora Ethos sandals that I have, they're pretty beat up. I've been wearing them consecutively for I think 3 or 4 years now, and they're just starting to get really, really worn. And I was worried that they were going to break while I was out on trip. And because of the trip that I was doing, I was supposed to be doing this weekend, really, really hard, you know, overgrown stuff, I figured I should have this extra protection on my feet because these are pretty durable, and never anything wrong with them. I just changed to the other shoes because I liked them better because they were a bit lighter and they dry faster. So I have a new pair of Keen water shoes on the way. They are called the CNX 2s, and I have some water socks coming from Sealskins that I'll be wearing on the next few trips. So look for information about those. I'll be putting the information up on my website after I get them and test them out. All right, it is 1:30. Got the canoe all ready to portage. Got my food bag on my back, and off we go. All right, I'm just getting to the end of the portage here with the canoe. I'm dying. I really, really need to get in shape. Feels like I did like a 1.5K or something. Oh man. Oh, that took me 15 minutes, so like I said, a 750 meter portage. It says it's 5. Actually, it's less than 5 on the Jeff's map, but I don't buy it. There's the canoe. It's all ready to go. I'm gonna go back and get my bag. Giddy up. Bugs, 0. I don't think I got any bites on this trip yet, anyway. I don't even have my net on. I don't have my bug shirt on because I'm wearing a long sleeve. This is sprayed in permethrin too, but no bugs. I mean, there's been a couple clouds here and there. I had a few on the trail yesterday. There were a ton of deer flies at the top of that cliff where I was on that hike. But other than that, nothing. So that means they're still on the way. But I'll be ready for them. Here's some tedious stuff. I remember this when I got here today. So covered in moss too. You can't just kind of run through. You have to be really careful where you put your feet because it's really easy to roll an ankle. All right, it is 2:15. Maybe 45 minutes to do that portage, and I'm at Rib Lake now. I just have to paddle a little bit. I think it's like 2 or 3 kilometers. I don't even know. And then I'll be back at the access. Did you notice my snazzy new hat? It's from Canoe Hound Outdoor Adventure Show. I've been on that show quite a few times. Dennis runs a great show. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll send you a link. And thanks to Dennis for the hat. I really love it. I have to say, from someone who rarely gets tailwind or is going with the flow of the water, it's quite lovely. And I'm enjoying it a lot. I am moving very quickly through Rib Lake with little effort at all. There isn't a lot of wind, unfortunately. It would have been nice to have a little bit more because it is behind me, but I'm quite impressed. It's like the water's just pushing me along gently. It's so lovely. Well, it's 3:05, and I am just approaching the access. I've just finally got it in my line of sight. You can actually see my car and everything, so I guess that's it for this adventure. Really nice calm water, the second half of the paddle through Rib. The first half was nice because I was getting pushed by the tailwind, and I like Mirror just the same. I mean, it's not quite Mirror, but it's pretty close. So it's been a very, very nice calm paddle out. The trip is done. As I mentioned earlier, I have some mixed feelings about it, rightfully so, but such is life. When I got to the access at Lake Temagami Road, I just didn't feel like I should be there. Just didn't feel right, so I rerouted. I had a really nice peaceful trip here, even though there was a tornado warning and some really crazy storms, which I got some footage of, which I hope you enjoyed. And I had a good time. It was a good 4 days in Temagami, and it's always a good time when you go to Temagami. I always have a great time here. It doesn't matter what happens. I would have liked to do the other loop. I don't even know if I'm going to try to do it again. I think maybe that's just going to be a write-off, and I'm going to try to find something else. So tomorrow is a holiday. It is, what did I say, 2:15, something like that. So probably get home around 6-ish, counting, stopping for food, picking up some stuff for tomorrow. And I'm going to spend tomorrow looking up some more routes for the next long weekend. I worked on my map that I got from the trip shed yesterday in my tent for a while, so I've got some stuff laid out for that. And lots of great adventures to come. There'll always be something. Even if I abort a mission, I'll find another one and I'll make something happen. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Good times in Temagami. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please click the subscribe button. Also click the bell for notifications. If you'd like to get more information on the stuff I use on my trips, please check out my website at CamperChristina.com. Thanks. Bye.